Welcome back to Gentleman's Gazette. In today's video, we discuss the flat cap, also known as Newsboy cap. I talk about the history, the style, how to wear it, and anything else you want to know about this very classically stylish hat. Even though hats for men are past its prime, with the recent popularity of shows like Boardwalk Empire and Peaky Blinders, the flat cap has had somewhat of a renaissance. Unlike a fedora hat, and you can learn more about the fedora in this video, the flat cap is a little more casual, it's easier to wear, you can wear it during the winter, it will keep you warm, and overall it makes a softer statement than a Hallmark hat or a fedora. If you never worn a hat before, it's also much less intimidating to wear and to pull off. And you can also combine it with more casual outfits or more formal outfits, sport coats, or anything else in the fall-winter wardrobe spectrum. So first of all, what is a flat cap or newsboy cap? Obviously, I'm wearing one here right now, and it's made out of a woven fabric. It's not knitted. There's no felt like in typical menswear hats. Overall, it has a very level and trim silhouette based on the one-piece construction, meaning the top is made out of one piece of fabric, and then you have seams on the side to get the distinct shape. Another characteristic is that the body of the top part of the hat is pulled over the brim. Generally, it's either sewn on or snapped on. That way, you get a triangular side profile that gives the hat its characteristic shape. The other newsboy cap style that you might have seen before consists of usually 8 panels with a cloth-covered button in the middle. Even though it's a different style, it's essentially the same cap because it has the same triangular silhouette and it's just a little looser fitting. Over the years, the flat cap has gotten many monikers. So it's known as newsboy cap, cabbie, Gatsby, Ivy, Jeff, Duffler, Duckbill, Driving, you name it. If you want to learn all about the monikers, please check out the guide on our website here. Now it's time to talk about the history of the flat cap. Basically, it has been around since the 14th century, and its predecessor was the bonnet. The term cap came into use in England before the 17th century. Interestingly, in the 16th century, the British Parliament wanted to stimulate wool production, so they mandated that every non-noble man had to wear a flat cap on Sundays and on holidays, otherwise they would face a fine. Even though that law didn't last very long, it had a profound impact on the way men dressed. As such, it had become the uniform of the working man in England. Eventually, even the aristocracy would adapt the flat cap, but more for rural country sports things like shooting or hunting. The difference was that they used only higher-end materials, and so there was still a level of distinction. Despite that fact, the flat cap has always been more associated with the working class rather than with the aristocracy. Over time, the flat cap became more popular, with its peak in the popularity around 1910 to 1925. The term newsboy cap evolved because little boys who sold newspapers were wearing this cap, and so that moniker was created. The show Peaky Blinders is set right around that time, and they even put little razor blades on top, so it became a hallmark of that show. Because of that, many young men found an interest in the cap, and you see more and more of them on the street today than you did 10 or 15 years ago. It's often also popular with older men who want a warm hat during the colder days of the year without going all out and wearing a fedora or a Hallmark hat. However, because it was a cap worn by younger men and newsboys, as well as older men and men in their middle ages, it's truly something that you can wear at any point in time, no matter how old you are or what your style is. So how should you wear a flat cap? Overall, think of the flat cap as a more stylish equivalent to the baseball hat. So how do you wear a flat cap? First of all, if you get something made out of tweed, just the way I'm wearing it here right now, you always want to make sure to have a certain amount of contrast between the fabric on your hat and the rest of your outfit. It's particularly true for the jacket and the shirt. That being said, if you have a tweed suit or a jacket and a exactly matching flat cap made out of the same material, it looks very, very dapper. Definitely avoid flat caps that are very similar in color, but not the same, because that just looks off. It's like pairing a navy suit with a black pair of pants. Second of all, do shape the brim to your taste. That means you can actually move it like this and curve it a little bit. You can tilt your hat and get the exact look you want. Don't wear your flat cap backwards because it just looks awkward. This is not a baseball hat after all. It's a more stylish brother. 4. Don't wear a flat cap in the summer because it simply makes you overheat and sweat and it's unnecessary. It's a hat for the colder days of the year. 5. Don't wear a flat cap unsnapped. Sometimes you find flat caps that can be unflapped. However, that's a style that's usually associated with women in the 70s, and since you're a man, it's not a very advantageous look. For that reason, higher-end caps sometimes don't even have the snap button and they're sewn shut. So how should you buy a flat cap? First of all, it's important that it fits comfortably on your head, because if it's too tight, chances are you got a headache, and if it's too loose, the wind may blow it off. In terms of sizing, lower-end flat caps usually come in small, medium, and large, and there's no real way for you to determine whether it's going to fit you or not unless you try it on. Traditionally, flat caps would be sold in the same sizes as head sizes, which means like European 60, 61, and so forth, or American or UK sizes, which is 7 3/8 or 7 1/2. And to figure out what head size you are, please check out the table on our website here. Because it's a soft hat and not a stiff hat, you can simply measure your head around your forehead and transfer that measurement into the head size that will work for you. The flat cap was originally made from tweed, other wool fabrics, or sometimes even cotton, and for that reason you should stick with those materials. In my opinion, tweed is really the best material because it has the depth of color, it keeps you warm, it's hard wearing, and it's just a wonderful fabric. To learn more about tweed, please check out our in-depth tweed guide here. Sometimes I've also seen denim caps or maybe leather caps or faux leather ones. I personally don't think it's a very advantageous look, and I'd rather stick with the classic stuff. For that same reason, I stay away from patchwork flat hats or multi-pattern caps because they're simply too loud, just like a bold red or really loud blue and green hat would be. The good thing about tweed is that usually it comes in more subdued colors that suit the fall-winter season. At the same time, the color composition of the fabric is comprised of a range of different ones, so it's very easy to combine it with other items in your wardrobe, even though they don't match and contrast. So whenever you find flat caps that are either too bold or come in small, medium, and large, I suggest you skip them unless you know that they will fit you and that you'll like to wear them, and they won't just be a fashion item that you have to throw away after a season. If you want to learn more about flat caps and what brands you might want to buy, please check out our full guide on the website here. Last but not least, if you think a flat cap makes you look dated, just browse the internet and look for pictures of David Beckham or people like Brad Pitt, which are obviously mainstream media celebrities, and they can still pull it off and do so on a regular basis. In today's video, I'm wearing a flat cap that is made out of a bold herringbone tweed. I'm pairing it with a tweed jacket in green with a window pane. My tie is a madder silk tie from Fort Belvedere in red. My pocket square is also from Fort Belvedere, likewise madder silk in a bronze brown with green and red that picks up the tones of the tie and the jacket. The jacket is vintage, which I found at Bobby from Boston, which is a vintage store. My shirt is custom made from a nice cotton flannel. It goes well with a soft fall-winter outfit. My corduroys are from Polo Ralph Lauren. My boots are from St. Crispin's. They're a kind of chukka boot style, and it's a deer suede that slightly contrasts my pants. The socks I'm wearing are brown with clocks from Fort Belvedere, and of course over the calf. The cufflinks I'm wearing are double-sided cloisonné enamel ones with blue and two-tone. They're vintage, and I found them at a flea market. With this green flat cap, I should avoid wearing it with a green jacket, and so I went with this oatmeal herringbone one. I could also wear it with this tweed jacket in gray with a very bold diagonal twill weave. If you're not into tweed, you can go with wool flat caps, such as this black one, which work well with grays, maybe tans or khakis, and you simply have to find something that works with your style. My fall-winter style is tweed, and because of that, I have a lot of tweed flat caps. But even if you wear tweed, you shouldn't combine every flat cap with every jacket. Here I'm wearing a Donegal jacket, which is a tweed that is characterized by its contrasting, colorful flecks of wool, and the cap has the same style, so it would just clash. Instead, I could go with this kind of tweed cap, which is like a mottled green, but it doesn't have these color specks, and because of that, it works well together. The same goes with this hat, which likewise is a tweed coat with a nice color palette that picks up elements of my tie, but it still works with my jacket. If you're wearing a bold herringbone Donegal tweed overcoat, just like I'm wearing here right now, and you have a likewise bold herringbone pattern flat cap that is in a different color, they don't go well together. Instead, try to stay with solids which are much better to wear, and they just combine really nicely. Flat caps also really work well with solid overcoats, simply because they have this pattern in the tweed, and if you have a dark one, maybe a simple herringbone one like this one works just fine. Otherwise, you can be bolder as well. Just observe the general rules of pattern and color matching, and get something that is either very different in the size. Let's say you have a very fine herringbone coat and a very bold herringbone flat cap, or the other way around. Otherwise, try to go with something else, like a window pane with a herringbone or a solid. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Check out the other videos on our channel about fall/winter outfits, and make sure you subscribe and sign up to our free newsletter so stuff like this comes right to your inbox.